They said, well, there's only 5% of writers and authors that will even have a manuscript that they go to the publisher with.
So what did that mean to you? Okay, expand on it shocked you. Why? What?
I'm trying
what
to answer the question on the percentage that. So therefore, just the people that actually write a manuscript and go to a publisher, only 5% have the full.
So they have someone else writing it?
Well, then after that, somebody helps them write it, and then it
But
goes
who would then...
Welcome to another episode of Brothers, Battles, and Bounty, where family, future success, business, and journey to success converge. I'm your host, Stefan Gfesser, and this is Season 2, Episode 16, and we have a
Hey, how about introduce them? How about,
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Who we have here today? Yes.
I am Andreas.
Okay.
And I am Martin, and today's podcast is brought to you by Trendler Incorporated.
Okay, cool. So today's podcast is kind of unique. Our guest is one of our members and world famous host of Brothers, Battles, and Bounty. We have Andreas Gfesser. I've got a lot of stuff here, so I'm gonna have to read this.
Was it 2 sentences?
Actually, it's a little bit more.
Okay.
Today, we are honored to welcome Andreas Gfesser to the podcast, okay? Andreas is the founder and president of Crossroads Business Partners, where he brings more than 30 years of experience, including nearly a decade as CEO and president of Trendler from 1999 to 2008. He's known for leading lean transformations, driving bold expansion strategies, and helping organizations achieve breakthrough growth. His track record includes U.S. manufacturer global with consistent profit growth, which is Trendler, guiding cultural transformations that unlock long-term performance, and securing major contracts for clients with innovative market positioning. Now Andreas has captured this lifetime experience with his new book, coming out January 26th, The 12 Levels of Business...
January 2026.
January 2026. Right. I was just checking to see if I paid attention.
Okay, I gotcha.
The name of the book, The 12 Levels of Business Performance, set to be published as stated. The book offers a practical framework to help leaders elevate performance at every stage of their business journey. Andreas, we're excited to have you here, share your story and your book and your insights and big ideas behind your new book.
Wonderful. Thank you for the gracious introduction. So, where do we start?
So what got you to consider even writing a book?
That's a great question. Growing up in a family business, immigrant parents, the hard work ethic, all that, which you heard that theme over and over, has always instilled in me the need to create something of value. And for some strange reason, as I've been creating the value, once it's created, it's time to create more value, and just keep creating this. Growing up in the family business, had the opportunity to perform many functions, one of which was as CEO president. And then I pursued my passion to help other organizations transform in their performance as well. That's where Crossroads Business Partners was born. So I did that, and then it emigrated to Crossroads Hospitality, which was another entrepreneurial venture to go back to my roots in the furniture part, and then ultimately do a hybrid of all the above. And so I have all this experience and knowledge that it was contained within me, and I wanted to just kind of write it because I feel really organized and capable. Bottom line, I felt inspired. It was like a muse. I was passionate. I wanted to get this creation out, and I've studied creativity and what it is, and a lot of times it just hits you, and this hit me, and I wanted to write a book about what my life experiences have been with the intention of transferring the value creation to others, to where when they read this book, they hopefully will be able to see different aspects of how it applies to them and grow their enterprises and their life and their businesses to the next level, adding value through the creation of the book. So that's kind of what did it.
I'm intrigued and fascinated by your endeavor to write this book. As I look, as entrepreneurs, putting your thoughts down into print, into paper, is quite an endeavor. And if I had to guess, I'm not 100% sure statistically, but of all the entrepreneurs in the world, what percent of them actually will write a book? Any idea?
Wow.
I think I know the answer. I think I have an idea, but
very, very few. And when I decided to write, I didn't even know where to
I've
go.
heard 1%.
Yeah. Okay. Seems very, very active. I didn't know where to go to even start. So I just write, I wrote the content, and then I'm like, well, I want to get it published. So I interviewed 12 different publishers. And as I was talking to them, they're like, well, what is the idea? I tell them the idea. I said, well, I have a manuscript. And they're like, you've already written it? I said, well, they said, well, there's only 5% of writers and authors that will even have a manuscript that they go to the publisher with.
So what did that
shocked
mean to
me.
you? Okay,
It shocked me.
expand on it shocked you. Why? What?
I'm trying
what
to
went
answer the
through?
question on the percentage that. So therefore, just the people that actually write a manuscript and go to a publisher, only 5% have the full.
So they have someone else writing it?
Well, then after that, somebody helps them write it, and then it
But
goes
who would
from
then, so if that small percentage of people who are writing the book actually write the manuscript, if somebody doesn't write the manuscript, they hire somebody.
They hire other people to help
write
them.
the
Yeah,
manuscript.
they have a team of people that chapter 1, chapter 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who specifically do you have in mind as the audience that's going to benefit from your content? How much? Talk about that process a little bit.
Yes, thank you. Well, the audience is entrepreneurs, business owners, wannabe business owners, venture capitalists, but primarily entrepreneurs of all different size organizations.
Could entrepreneurs benefit from that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And the idea is, okay, they take the risk, they start their own business, they start navigating, they're adding value to customers, they're making more money. The key metrics are profitability, so you could eat from your work.
Mm-hmm.
And then as it grows and grows, it gets the facets of stress starts to overcome you. Your health becomes an issue.
Sure.
Relationships in your life start to deteriorate because you're obsessed and you have all the pressure associated with that. So the audience are entrepreneurs, individuals that are starting businesses and have businesses, or somebody that's interested in buying a business.
Okay.
And that's primarily the audience.
So is it like a how-to, or is it inspiration? What's the driver?
So it literally is a integration strategy to help increase the value of the enterprise, of the business, by focusing on profitability through process, ultimately driving an increase in cash flow, which is the ultimate metric. And the concept behind it is to grow your business as if you want to sell it. Okay, so you want to look at the business as an investor, because most of the time you're in the business, you're doing it. When you look at the business as an investor, now you have the chance to sit back and say, oh, wait a minute. There's one guy that knows all this stuff. If I buy this business, how am I going to know what they know? Versus, oh, they've diversified all the intellectual capital and you got a structure to help grow it. Bottom line, it's an integration strategy to do that. And it addresses the 12 levers are specific levers that you go through in a sequence or out of sequence, not really that important, to where you go through the 12 levers, and when you're done, at the end of 12 months, you start over again. So the ultimate, it's a closed loop process.
Continuous improvement.
The continuous improvement is actually the 12th lever. Well said. And the idea is to give it a format. I try to make it as paint by number as possible, and that was really challenging. But at the same time, it's a little lower than 50,000 foot approach. And I think after reading the book, it'll give the readers a phenomenal idea. They're going to be way farther ahead than they were prior. And then they're just going to need a catalyst potentially in certain areas. And the thought is they're going to go to professionals to get the different specifics of what they need to fill in the blanks.
You know, would an entrepreneur who maybe, you know, is working for someone that just says, hey, you know, I want my own business. I have no experience whatsoever. I don't have a college degree. Is it someone like that can also benefit from the book to where they can basically read the 12 levers and be able to follow it and, you know, launch their entrepreneurship? Because, you know, certain entrepreneurs are going to already have experience, potentially, you know, higher level, you know, degrees of experience or education. But I'm more focused on people that just want to start their own business from scratch. I've never even thought about it. Would this help them?
It'll put them light years ahead. A lot of times an individual is looking to buy a business like, I want to be my own boss.
Right.
And they go out, they assess their skills, they find a business complementary or start their own based on their skills and start working at it. The 12 levers will provide them a massive head start in that process, to the point where when they're looking to buy a business, if that's the direction they go, they'll have the tools to be able to make sure they're getting good value for what they are looking at. If they have 5 companies that are for sale, they'll be able to pick the best one based upon the guidelines contained in the book. So it definitely will help that particular audience group for sure. So
does it? It doesn't matter what type of business that somebody
Nope.
wants to start. It's whether it's service, whether it's
in the book, I utilize manufacturing,
right,
because manufacturing is the most sophisticated level of a business. So a service sector business will be able to apply all of the principles. Just some of the more complex aspects of manufacturing won't apply. But if they become familiar with them, they could integrate it into the service element and translate it. But yes, it'll definitely apply to any and all businesses.
So I'm interested and curious for other folks who may be interested in writing their own book. Okay. How long ago, when did the idea of writing this book first enter into your thinking? And then what were the sequences to get to where you are now that you went through?
Wow, that's an interesting question. So I never intended to write a book when I first started writing. I'm a big writer. I do a lot of writing to get my thoughts down. I could refer to as journaling, but my journaling's a little more extreme than just random. I mean,
I've seen some of your work, so I understand.
So I try to articulate the thought and manifest some meaning from it. So I did that with the 12, and it wasn't called the 12 levers. It just was this idea where I came up because in Crossroads Business Partners, I consulted with a multitude of all different types of companies, from public libraries to medical offices to manufacturing facilities to truck dealerships. You get the point. I mean, I'm
diverse,
all different. And what I realized by going through that is all of them are more like than they are dislike. The services and the products are clearly diametrically different, but the processes and procedures to optimize the performance of the company is the same. So when I'd be talking to somebody, I realized, how do I articulate this? You know, I could say what I just said. Oh, you're all the same. You know, it's not rocket science. Everyone thinks their business is so unique. Bottom line, I just started writing to try to get it. And once I created this document that I was able to now present, I initially thought of making a white paper, but I'm like, So I ultimately said, you know what? I'm going to write a book. And the interesting thing was I decided to write the book with no intentions of publishing the book. I just thought.
When did that?
It was about
time?
a year and a half ago. Year and a half ago is when it started. So, and then as I did all the work and got it all written, I'm like, I might as well just publish this, because I mean, I've done all the work already. So that's
So
kinda,
the transition of writing it and then publishing it, expand on that a little bit, because that's a big
big leap. I fortunately am surrounded with a lot of really brilliant minds. And I had a conversation similar to we're having now, and somebody said, why don't you publish it as a book? I'm like, well, I have no idea. I wouldn't even know where to start. Hey, I know somebody who wrote a book. You could talk to their publisher. And I'm like, publisher? So I found out just the edits. There's structural edits, content edits. There's 52 different types of edits you need to do. I had no idea.
Yeah, summarize that for somebody who's considering. You understand?
So if somebody like gets a degree in writing and college, that's like a no-brainer to them. They'll understand everything I'm saying. I didn't.
Most people would be like you that write books, I would think.
I would think so, yeah.
Okay.
Well, most people who write books understand how to write. Most of them, the books that are out there, they love to write and they're creating writing and that's their art that they're creating to the world. Business books and practical applications, little different genre than most of the books that are out there.
And your book would be a business book.
Absolutely, a business book, self-help, improvement
so
type.
let's focus on somebody that would like to write a business book.
So what I would suggest if I was to do it different is go to a publisher that's known for publishing business books, and then ask them what is the sequence of events that I should embark on to go. And they're going to say, okay, write the draft, write the outline, do whatever they tell you, and then go with it from there. So, and then go selecting the right publisher, critical, very important. So you got to go through
Why
that.
is that critical? What's critical about it?
Because some publishers are strictly fiction. You can go online and type in publishers and 10,000 of them will pop up. They're individuals that, graduated college and are now publishers. They do great work, but how do you sort through it? Bottom line, it's requires a little insight, foresight. And if somebody's interested, contact me. I'll help, get that little closer to fruition. But
now that's great to hear how that whole process happened for you. Getting to the book, the 12 levers of business performance. Can you touch a little bit on what those 12 levers are?
I could.
And for our audience, because I'm sure everybody wants to know what those 12 levers are.
Yes. So going through all 12 of them is, we can
I'm just saying,
I just segmented the book into 3 areas.
Okay.
One, and I'll get to the 12. Yes. First one is looking at your business as an investor. So the general premise there is you're shifting gears, you're taking yourself out of that leadership role or the intended leadership role, and you're now looking at the business as a money generating return on investments with the purpose of enhancing the quality of your life, because why else are you doing it? Giving yourself heartaches and, pains and, stresses you subject yourself. So look at it as an investor. That's a big part of the first third of the book. The second part is then, once you understand the concepts there, here's now the 12 levers to optimize the financial performance of your business with the intention and the mindset of selling your business. Now, the unique part about that, you don't ever have to sell your business, but looking at it as if you're going to sell it, now you're looking at it more as an investor. Mm-hmm. Now you're like, wait a minute, someone's going to buy this. What are they really buying? It's like you're going to sell your house. You don't just say, come on, see, you paint the walls, you cut your grass, you remodel, you do all those things. It's kind of like that for your business.
Yeah.
Then from there, you dive into what those 12 levers are, cleaning the house, etc. They start with developing a vision, a mission, and values for the organization. That's the first lever. When you know where you're going, if you don't know where you're going, you're not going to be able to get there. The next lever then is human capital, people. You got to have the right people selected. And this touches on how you select the people that are on your team. You want to pick people that are you're going to be able to scale the company to grow. You want to think about the growth and all the rest with it, and that they're vested and they're bought in. I think some of the industry terms are having the right people on the bus.
And that would be both employees and professional.
Professional services are another segment.
Okay,
That's
gotcha.
another level.
Okay.
Great segue.
Okay.
So there's source suppliers and vendors. That's another lever. You got to make sure you pick the best of the best that are in there. Another lever. Another lever is having what I refer to as the closed loop process. You document every step of your business, from how do you get customers, advertising, direct mail, et cetera, to them being a prospect, to then becoming a customer. Then how do you put the customer in your system? What are they buying? All the specs, all the way through procurement.
The profit process.
The profit process.
Which you fully documented and
fully documented in there step by step.
You
as
have
a
it
prototype.
in the book.
It is in the book, a prototype of it.
Did
Absolutely.
you trademark it or copyright it or anything?
Everything is intellectual property and trademarked. Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Which is the publisher help with that too. Another key selection. The intellectual, protecting
The
the intellectual
legal aspect of it.
Very important to have a publisher that has the background in that experience as well. So proceeding down the different levers, ultimately the final lever is continuous improvement. So you go through all these 12 levers, depending on where you are. You mentioned if somebody already has a business, they have expertise, they might be great in lever 5, operations, which is another lever. Talk about, how to optimize using lean and all the principles that are available. If somebody has a strong suit in that, the idea is you now have an advantage over others, but now there's other levers that you need to improve. And by looking at them, you go, oh, I could use some work here. And at the end, the continuous improvement process, you go back through and you start monitoring and measuring the flow rate of how you can get through this. Strategic planning is another lever. And in the strategic planning process, it's done on an annual basis. And in there is where you develop your objectives and how you're going to incorporate where you go from your vision to actually getting the results. And after the strategic planning process, you generate a list of objectives. Those objectives then are delegated to your human capital, the experts in the field. And then from there, you then have a monitoring system where every quarter you look at the key metrics you do. Then every week you're meeting to make sure you're doing that. You develop key performance indicators as well, which you develop within your strategic planning that are relevant for you, which is like the gauges of your car or vehicles to see how you're doing. Another level is financial statements. Financial statements are the language of business. You have to be well-versed, proficient. This is just my bias. Financial statements are critical. And I address that in detail, try to simplify it to show how they're all related. From there, expanding on the financial statements is to then deduce them to financial ratios that help you interpret your financials in a more meaningful way.
Mm-hmm.
So all in all, after that is the third section of the book addresses the monitoring process of this 12 levers. Now you have your key performance indicators, you have your flash reports, you have all the things that you're using to monitor, and ultimately EBITDA, earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization, which is a mouthful, is a metric that allows your business to be compared to like businesses in the industry. So if you have 5 businesses, which one is the most valuable? You say, well, that one's got 10 times the sales of this one. And this one, oh, look at the profitability here. Everyone's confused at which ones are the better business. The metric that equalizes all of them to make it comparable one to the other is the EBITDA.
Mm-hmm.
And the EBITDA number is what the book focuses on to concentrate on that number so that you can compare your business to other businesses. And there's reference material within the book that show once you identify what industry you're in, there's references you can access and compare yourself to the best in your industry, the worst in your industry, and you can see where you rank.
So what I heard you say is profit is cool and top line revenue is pretty awesome, but EBITDA gets the hot chicks.
If you're into that sort of thing, it'll get you whatever significant other you're pursuing. Let's put it that way. But yes. But really, the core driver of the whole system is free cash flow. It's the cash flow that's generated from the organization. And the EBITDA metric is just allows you to compare your business to others. And there's just a plethora of additional resources and information that you can access above and beyond. It's a robust book with a lot of information that can't really be addressed in just a book. And the idea is, if anybody's got any inquiry, questions, looking for potential consulting services, I then am there to help guide and or point them in the direction to help them with whatever lever they're looking to optimize.
Oh, cool.
So
With
closing,
time,
closing comments. I think it's great. I'm excited. I know you've been talking about this with us for a while, and this is the first time I've heard the details of it, and it sounds pretty awesome. And will I get a signed copy?
Of course you will.
All right, nice.
But for a small fee, it'll be a collector's item.
That's awesome.
I'll have it in a frame. Thank you.
That's
Martin.
really
Thank
great.
you.
And I think our audience, will be intrigued with it. Not only the book, but also the process of going through the whole, how to do it. But yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
I would just like to say that as your brother, business partner, and friend, okay, consider you to be a friend as well. I'm inspired by your initiative to write this book. I think it's really, really cool. When I think about, entrepreneurs, they're 5% of the business people or world population are entrepreneurs. Of those entrepreneurs or population, only 1% write books. Okay, so the distinction of this accomplishment to me is amazing. I'm so proud of you, and I believe it's just the beginning of something more for you. Okay, and I'm excited to be part of that journey as you navigate through all these different things. As your brother, your business partner, and your friend. So
That's cool. Great. Thank you for the opportunity to share it, and I look forward to it being published. And I just want to say, in closing, the inspiration for it had a lot to do with being in the family business with you guys, the opportunities that were provided, and the challenges and the manner with which we all navigated through these brother battles and bounty journey we've been on has really shaped. It's like taking a block of granite and shaped a really kind of a nice sculpture out of where I am at this point in my life. And you guys did a major contribution in the sculpting. You took a little too much pressure in the hammer and the chisel at times, but certainly, all joking aside, you helped get rid of a lot of the crust and things that needed to be permeated. And at this point, to be able to express it in this form, I look at it as almost like an art form. Like I've created a piece of art. It's kind of neat to look at it that way. And I look forward to your guys' input on it after it's out. And thank you very much for the opportunity to share.
Very cool.
I really
Awesome.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yes.
Very cool. Well, this concludes another episode of Brothers, Battles, and Bounty. See us on
LinkedIn, YouTube, Spotify,
Instagram.
Instagram.
Facebook.
Faceback's a new medium's coming out. We're like cutting edge, right? It's cybersecurity improved and all.
Very nice.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Until next
Take
time.
care. We'll see you.